Anime, Dead Mount Death Play. Continuing to episode 4, Iwa and Eris were having a meeting at the Shinjuku police station. They discussed various unusual cases that had occurred in the city. Starting from the alligator siblings, the barber, the riddler, the merchant, the poisoner, the donor, and phantom solitaire. Some of them had already been captured or killed. Some department members laughed at Chairman Iwa's choice of name. Iwa himself was not too concerned about the name, as the criminals would not be publicized anyway. Then, there were also the life taker, the fire-breathing bug, and the lemmings. They were still wanted criminals. Moreover, recently there was a new case involving bones appearing in the midst of a fire at the Shakuzawa building. 2 days ago, there was also a case of a human body being bent out of shape. At the scene of the latest case, they found footprints that matched those of the lemmings. According to their observations, the case of bones appearing in the fire was very similar to the case of the fire-breathing bug. However, they could not yet determine whether the case was related to the bent human body. One thing was certain, they couldn't relax while there were two strange cases happening in close proximity. One member doubted whether the bones in question were genuine or fake. The viral video had been analyzed, but they did not find any unusual shape of the bones from any angle. Even if the video was fake, it was certain that it could not be used as evidence. Based on the accounts of the children who survived the fire, it seemed that something strange had indeed happened. According to Iwa, they didn't need to worry because they had always been able to uncover such strange incidents with rational explanations. Ultimately, it was all just the doings of ordinary humans. He believed that the case was not the work of witches who could summon evil spirits and dragons. As long as their opponents were human, they could handle them. Unfortunately, they didn't know that Polka was the reincarnation of the corpse god from another world who could use real magic. Meanwhile, Polka was performing magic to transfer the original Polka's spirit again. He transferred his spirit from the drone to a shark plush toy. Now Kuruya could use his drone again. Misaki, who had just arrived, saw Polka holding the plush toy. She also became interested in playing with it and held the toy close to her chest. The original Polka was delighted to be treated that way by the girl who had killed him. The plush toy could only wriggle and couldn't speak. Only the corpse god could hear the true feelings of the original Polka. Actually, he could make it talk as long as he had a fresh human voice. However, acquiring such a voice was difficult, and it would also consume a lot of magical energy if started from scratch. For now, it was better for Polka to restore his magical energy before seeking money. Magical energy in this world was also thin. It was very difficult to perceive the existence of magical spirits. At least, his magical energy could recover when encountering the spirits of living beings. For those who had died, a significant amount of energy was needed to stay in the world. That energy could come from feelings of grudge or regret. Necromancers could convert those feelings into magical energy by exorcising them. According to Polka, the energy in this building, which had once been a place of torture, was greater than that of a battlefield. However, Kuruya said that buildings like this were rare. Polka had an idea. He wanted to use magic storage stones to restore his magical energy. In the terms of this world, those stones were called gems. They could be diamonds, sapphires, and so on. If he had many gems and used his magic, he could surely earn a lot of money. Of course, things wouldn't go according to Polka's desires. Kuruya took him to a gem store to show him the reality. Even a ring with a very small gem was priced at 435,000 yen. Polka didn't expect the price to be that high. In his original world, even children could easily buy magic storage stones. Polka and Misaki then headed home, passing through a small alley. However, Polka sensed strong magical energy from the gems in the store. Actually, Polka could directly absorb the magical energy from those gems, but the gems would immediately be destroyed. He didn't want to harm them in that way. Kuruya accompanied them with the drone and noticed Eris in that alley. Eris immediately jumped and took Kuruya's drone. Meanwhile, Iwa returned to Clarissa's bar. This time, Clarissa was on shift. Iwa wanted to ask her some questions. It seemed that Clarissa's group appeared panicked during the Shakuzawa building fire. According to her source, someone saw Kuruya's drone during the fire. Not only that, yesterday there was a case involving the Jinba group, which was under Clarissa's command, and some members were severely injured. Iwa had a hunch that at least these cases were connected to Clarissa. Eris had captured Karuya's drone and wanted to interrogate him. It seemed that he didn't know the identities of Polka and Misaki yet. Eris simply asked them to ignore him. However, Polka unexpectedly asked Eris to release the drone, revealing that it belonged to his friend. Eris then realized that they were associated with Karuya. He expressed his disappointment that two high school students chose to associate with Karuya. Eris approached them and touched Polka's body, sensing that Polka's body was very cold. Polka stared at Eris seriously and told him that he would decide whom he would be friends with. Eris felt threatened by his gaze and reflexively moved away from him. Eris became even more intrigued by Polka. Afterward, Karuya recalled how dangerous Eris Kuzaburo was. He was a police officer in Shinjuku, but he was more dangerous than street thugs. Karuya had once been an informant for gangsters, and he had witnessed Eris defeat the 8 strongest members of that gang in a short amount of time. Through Polka's earphone, Karuya commanded him not to engage with Eris. The man was very perceptive. Polka mustn't reveal his powers, or his desire for a peaceful life would surely vanish. Eris asked for their names. Karuya was worried that they would be caught, especially since Misaki often frequented Clarissa's bar. Karuya took action by directly calling Rossi's phone. Eris was surprised that Karuya knew his phone number. Karuya made up a story that he was just accompanying Polka and Misaki to play, claiming that they were relatives of the employees at Clarissa's bar. He requested that Eris let them go since they weren't involved in anything suspicious. Karuya also threatened Eris that he would spread a video of him interrogating innocent people. Karuya had recorded them with some of his drones. Eris was impressed because Karuya was different now compared to the past when he betrayed his comrades. Karuya had revealed all his information back then with just a little beating. However, Eris still wanted Polka and Misaki to know that Karuya was a cunning person who would do anything for his own benefit. Polka stared at Eris with his sinister eyes, stating that at least Karuya was better than Eris. Eris once again felt threatened. He sensed a heavy pressure emanating from Polka. Polka could only bluff like that because he didn't want his powers and identity exposed. Misaki, who had been silent until then, suddenly disappeared. It was too late for Eris to realize that Misaki was behind him as she kicked him. She then dragged Polka to escape from that place. Eris didn't expect a girl's kick to be that powerful. Fortunately, they managed to escape using Polka's magic and were no longer pursued by Eris. Karuya thanked them for defending him earlier. However, he admitted that Arasi's words about him were true. He would sell information about Polka if threatened. Polka turned Karuya's statement around, stating that he valued his friend's life more than keeping his secret. Polka recounted the existence of the Geldwood sect in his original world. The sect possessed forbidden magic to force people to reveal secrets. Therefore, for Polka, selling information was not a big issue. Eris arrived at his office and asked his colleague, Aikawa, to investigate the footprints left by Misaki when she kicked him. Aikawa immediately recognized the owner of the footprints without further investigation. He remembered that the footprints matched those found at the Jimba group's crime scene. Besides Lemming's footprints, they also had other footprints. Eris, partially undressed, had a tiger tattoo covering his entire back. Meanwhile, Iwa was still intoxicated at Clarissa's bar, accompanied by 2 waitresses. His initial intention was to interrogate, but since he didn't have a search warrant, he could only eavesdrop for information. While drunk, Iwa openly leaked information about the Shinjuku police. Clarissa herself didn't mind because this bar was not an ordinary bar. Some waitresses who observed Iwa from a distance wanted to warn Polka to be more cautious. Just as they were about to say that, Misaki and Polka arrived at the bar. Iwa asked why underage kids were coming to a bar like this. Misaki was only going to order milk, so there was no need to worry. Iwa received an SMS from Eris regarding clues about their case. After that, Iwa said he wanted to treat the 2 of them to a glass of juice. In return, Iwa wanted to chat with them. From his computer, Karuya saw Eris leaving the police station. He realized that Eris was heading towards Clarissa's bar. Karuya contacted Polka through his earphone. Karuya commanded that if they were at Clarissa's bar, they should immediately flee without answering Arasi's questions. Eris didn't expect Iwa to be there, let alone with Polka and Misaki, whom he was pursuing. Iwa stopped joking around and became serious. Just as he was about to interrogate Polka and Misaki further, the power in the bar suddenly went out completely. Clarissa hadn't planned to turn off the electricity, so it must have been Karuya's doing. The best choice for Polka and Misaki now was to escape. Fortunately, Polka could see human spirits with his sinister eyes, so he could guide Misaki through the darkness. Before they could flee, Polka seemed surprised when someone entered the bar. Clarissa lit candles, revealing Lemmings, who was already prepared to take action. This is the end of episode 4. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss part 5 of this series recap.